Hi, I'm Dr. Abbas Malik and I'm your instructor for this Flutter mobile app development. So if you have not subscribed the channel, please subscribe so that you can get the notification of new videos. So in the last video, we were developing our expense tracking application. And then in that application, first of all, we added the dependencies which are required for this application. Then after that, we created the models. And then after that, we have created a local storage service using the shared preferences package. And then finally, we created the providers. And then finally, we finish our last video at this point where we need to create the GUI so that we can uh, add the expenses and see them. So let's see that we have this one. So let me refresh again. So first of all, we created the expense model, and then in the expense model, we have these fields. Then we also created the to JSON, which convert that object into a map of the string and dynamic. And then finally, we have when we receive a map of the this form, then we convert we create an object of the expense class. And similarly, we create the category. We also create the model for the tag. Then we created the services for the local storage, where we are saving the information inside the local storage using the shared preferences. So we save expenses list, get expenses list. Similarly, we have save categories list and the get categories list, and then we have the save tag list, and then we have the get tag list. So these are the method that we developed in our last. And then finally, we created the expense notifiers, where actually this is the Riverpod library which help us to maintain the asynchronous state of the application. And then we are creating these. So we created these notifiers, and then we have category, then we have tag, and then inside the main we also initialize our local storage service. And then we also say that we need to wait till everything is initialized properly. And then here we are telling our application that we are adding our application to that provider scope that we have created for the expense category and the tag. And then now we need to create our right now it is only show me a scaffold which does not have anything. So what we need to do, we need to come down here and then create these what you can say that we want to create the pages that we want to have here. So first of all, let me inside a lib folder. I want to create a new folder. I say it is the pages folder, and inside the pages folder, I have a home page, which is the starting point. So I say home underscore page dot, and once I have created, so I need to create what you can say that I need to create a class. Okay. So first of all, I say it is a class, and then we say home page, and then it should extends the consumer widget. Okay. So why this consumer widget is not coming up? Because I need to write down the not the consumer widget. Okay, so when I do that, so it is automatically this consumer widget is actually coming from the Riverpod. So because we inside our main application, so we have where is our main? So we are providing that scope. So now we are creating a consumer widget which actually consume that state. Okay, so that's why we need to have that. And then we are saying that we said that we have a constant and then home page, and then inside the home page, we are writing the super and dot key. And then we are actually creating that. And then we need to override the build function for that one. Okay. So of course we have a consumer widget. So we say we need to override build method. So why, as soon as we have built a method, then all that error has gone away. And then of course we need to implement that. We need to create what you can say that. So we are going to create two tabs. So inside the main page or the home page, we have two tabs, and then in these two tabs we need to what you can say that. I just don't want to do that. I want to say return we want to return a default tab controller, and that tab controller is actually telling us. So first of all we need to tell that we have the what you can say that we have how many tabs we have. So we can say two or three. So because we have two tabs, so we will put the two here. And then of course for the child we need to add a scaffold, and then inside the scaffold we have the application bar, and then we also have the for example app bar. And then we need to let me put that one down, not here. And then we also make this one down there. Then we also need to make sure that we are, this is the scaffold, we put a comma here. Then we, not the scaffold, I just say that we, in the scaffold we have the application bar, and after that we have the body. And then we will build that, so we can say in the application bar. So in the body, we will just right now say we have a center, and then we have a child, which is a text, and then we say we have expense tracking tab. And as soon as I save it, so we should have, okay, we need to we don't want this one here because we have not used it. So what I need to do here, come down here, rather than I create that scaffold, I say I want to create a home page. And then as soon as we do that, we can see that our expense. So now we need to first create the application bar. Application bar. So we can say that we have the background color. So inside the background color, we want to specify some color. So inside our lib folder, I am creating a new called file which is called constants dot or constants dot dart. Okay, and inside that constant dot dart, we can specify certain things. So we can create a class here. So it is constants, and inside the constants we have the static const, and then we have a color. And then we can say that this color is actually is an app bar app color. And then we can say that it is a colors dot indigo. Okay, so I just do that. When I do that, so I can just come down here, and then I say from the constants, okay, dot, we can say, because we have created a static variables, we have app bar, so we can save that one. We have this application bar. And then we also need to add a few things here. And what are those? So first of all, I need to have a title here. Okay. So I say title, and then we can have that title is more like a text. And then inside the text, we say expense tracker. And as soon as we do that, so we get the value. But if I want to apply certain style on it, so I say style, it is a text style. And then we say color, again colors, we define those color inside. So if I just try to define that color here as well, so this is what you can say that again static constant, it is a color, and then it will be a text color with a background. Okay, and then I can say this is colors dot, not color, colors dot white, and then we can save it. So in this way we can just say that we have constants dot text color. So when I do that, we get this one. So we can also make that alignment to the center as well, so that it will be a center align. So if we want to make it center align, then we can say that center We are not in the title. We need to come out of this text and title, and then we say center title. We say true, and then once we do that, we have this, and then inside, then we also putting some leading. We can say that we want to create a leading icon. So we say menu. No, we can say icon. Then we say icons dot menu. So when I do that, so we get this one as well. So what I will do, rather than I write down this menu, I want to create a separate widget, which actually, because we want to, when we click on that, we also want to perform some action. We want to show a drawer here. So what I will do, I will just create a new folder here under the lib, and we call them the widgets. And inside the widgets, I want to create a menu widget, or the we can say that it is a menu icon widget. So we can say menu underscore icon, yes, icon underscore widget dot. And as soon as I do that, so what we can do, we need to create a stateless widget here. So here we say STL, stateless widget, and then we say it is a menu icon uh, widget. Okay. And as soon as we save it, so we come down here, and then we need to make that changes here. So we can say we have a gesture detector in which we can also have on tap thing. And then inside the child, we can say that we want to have an icon. And then inside the icon, that will be icons dot menu. And then we can also say color. And color, we can say that it is a constants dot constants here package, and then dot white color. So we want to do that, and the on inside the on tab, we want to perform some specific actions. And then, of course, here we want to show a drawer. Okay. So when you say scaffold dot off and open drawer, so it will open that specific drawer for me. So I can say that scaffold and dot off, and then we have a context, and then we can say that open, not here, of this one we say open drawer, and then once we do that, it will, when we click on that, it will open the drawer. But of course, what we need to do, we need to, instead of having this icon, I will just say that I want to create this menu icon widget. And then when we do that, so we get this one. I mean, right now we don't have specified our drawer here. So once we specify the drawer, it will open when we click on it. Okay, so let first of all, let us create that drawer. Okay, so let me first finish the application bar, and then we can here, after the leading, we say we have a bottom, and inside the bottom, actually we are having the constant, and then we have a tab bar. So tab bar, we have tabs. So inside the tabs, we need to give a tab, and then here we are giving a child is actually a text, and then text is actually, we say that by date, so we want to show something by date. And then we are also saying that the style of this text is, let me quickly, so we have tabs. Okay, so these tab must be inside this one. Okay, so we have tabs, and then we need to save it. So we can have the tabs, and then we can have another tabs. Okay, so let me apply that style on it. So again, we can say text style, and then the text style, we can say color is equal to uh, constants, where are the constants? Constants dot this one. So we also need to, so first of all, we take tab, and then inside, I just try to create the copy of this one, and then we are putting this one here as well. So we have bottom, then we say constant tabs, and then here we say rather than by date, we say by category. Based on the category, we are showing them here. So where are my tabs gone? So they are not appearing. We have the leading, then we have the bottom, then we have constant, and then we have tabs. So we are actually providing everything here. So let me run the applications and see what is the problem. It is, yeah, no, there is no problem actually. So we are getting these tabs. So we can click on those so we can go to the different tabs. So again, right now in the body, we are not doing anything. So that means for the drawer, before we can go to the, we say we can specify a drawer. And for drawer, we also need to create a new widget here inside our widgets folder, which represent that drawer. So let me create a new file here. So we say it is a drawer underscore widget dot, and then inside we want to create a stateless widget. Okay, so we have a drawer, and then this one is a stateless widget, so we can say that stl, and then once we have fixed, we say drawer dr, okay, wi widget, so drawer widget, so we need to make sure that we are writing the right spellings. Okay, so before we can, go to uh, created that one, what we want. So we want to build a drawer. Okay, so we have a drawer. Okay, and inside the drawer we have a drawer drawer return drawer builder. So we have a drawer, and then inside we can say that we have this. What is happening? I mean, why it is only giving me, okay, we are here. uh, did I make any? We have the rawer draw widget, so it should return missing concrete implementation. Okay, so we will see that. So then we have a child here, then we say we have a list view, and then inside the list view we have a padding, and then we can say edge insets dot all insets 0. Then we say 0, and then we can say that we have some children here inside that list view, and then we have the uh, drawer header, and drawer header is actually what we can say that it has a child that will be a center, and then inside the center we have a child which is a text, and then text is more like a menu, and then we also apply the style on this text style. So we say style, that is our text style, and then we can say that color is equal to constants dot text color. And the other thing is we also want to apply the let me quickly apply this as text style. We have this one, and then we also want to inside, we want to say we have a font size, with font size is equal to 30.0. So when we save it, so if I just click on the drawer now, I mean right now we need to specify here, we say here drawer widget, so that will be created. So once I do that, we still have some problem here. It says that missing concrete implementation. So it is a stateless widget. So this control C, control V, that is all good. We have a build drawer, which is return a widget. And we still have, what is the method does not override inherited method. Okay, okay. So it is a build method, not because we are selecting the multiple places. So that's why when we type the drawer here, it goes over there as well. So we have the drawer widget dot build. So let me see what is I'm missing here. So we have a build and then we have a build context. So we see giving the context here. When we do that, it's all good. So when I click on that, so it is showing me that one. The other thing that is I want to change the background color for this header. So I can apply some decoration here. So I say not this one child. I would here I say decoration, and then we have a box decoration, and then we can say color is equal to constants, and then I want to use that. So when I do that, so we have this menu, which is the header of this specific drawer. When we click on that one, it will just disappear. So now we need to add more functionality or more things here. So what I want to do here, I want to apply the what you can say that inside the list where we have a drawer, and then after the drawer we want to list title tile, and then inside the list tile we say we have a leading icon, and then that icon will be icons dot category icons dot category. Yes, we have this one. And then after that, we want to have the title. So we have title, and that title will be text. And then text, we can say we have manage category. And then inside the manage category, we also want to have the on tab. Okay, so when we click on that one, what we are going to do right now, we just leave it like this. Okay, and then we also need to create another tile here, which is the same, except that rather than manage the categories, we say manage tags. Okay, or manage tags. So we say tags, and here we say um, categories. So now, if we look at that, we have these, and then of course we also need to change. So we say we want to have a tag icon here. So we have the icon. So when we click on it, it will. So let me what we need to do. When I click on that, it will say scaffold dot off and then context, and then I say dot close drawer. Okay, so I write this line here. So whenever I click on these links, it automatically close that drawer for me. So if I just do that, now you can see that we are closing it. But of course, this is not the purpose. We want to open a new page which where we can manage the categories. We can see the categories or the tags. But that we will do once we create that page. We can come down here inside. But now, right now, we have created this specific drawer for the time being. Okay. What else? The next thing that we have created the menu icon, we have created the drawer, then now we want to create the body of the page itself. So we have done that. So let me close them down. We have these constants. We can just put them whenever we want to create a new one thing. I can go there. We have expense tracking app. We have this category. Then we have tag. Then we expenses. All these things has been done. So we don't need to worry about that. So now we come down here and actually start working on the body of the application. So here, what we need to do, we need to check first. So do we have the expense data? Okay. So if we want to get the expense data is something which we are going to get from our provider, which is here, the expense notifier. So what I need to do, I need to create, because it is a consumer widget. So I am creating inside this method, we are creating a final variable, and then we can say that this is our expense data, and then that is coming from the ref. Ref is something, the widget that is coming due to that consumer widget, because we have extend our class from the consumer widget. So we say ref reference dot watch, we want to watch that specific things, and then we say expense provider. So this is the expense provider that we have created here. This one. Okay. So the expense provider, and then we say dot value. So when we do that, and then we put a semicolon at the end. So now we are actually registered this widget or this page that we want to, whenever there is a change inside the value is, what is the value? It is a list of expenses. Okay. So if there is a change in this list of expenses, when we are going to add a new expense inside, then it will notify it here. So we are subscribing ourselves, subscribing this specific widget so that it can accept, it can observe the changes, or or this, what you can say that this widget will be notified whenever there is a change inside this value or the list of the expenses. Okay. So right now we are going to do check down here. Inside we want to check what we want to check, that if that expense provider, if that what you can say that if the expense, not the expense data, is double equal to null, or that expense data dot is empty. Okay. So now we are checking that if the expense data is null or it is empty, there is no information, there is no expense has been added yet. In that case, what we want to do, we have two different. If it is true, I mean there's empty, there's nothing there, then we can just simply add a center, and then we can add a child here, and then we have a text, and then that text will show me click on the uh, plus button to record expenses. Okay. So we want to show that thing. So if I right now we need to provide, okay, we also need to provide another thing here, and that is the what you can say that the second option. So once we are putting a conditional statement here which returns true or false. If it is true, then it will show me this thing. Otherwise it will show me a tab view, what you can say that tab bar view. Okay. So inside the tab bar view, we have the children, and those children's will be something. So when you do that, so now you can see that because right now this expense data is empty and or null, we can also see the value. Let me quickly, if I say that print the expense data, and then do that, and then you can see that right now in the I mean it is showing me that this expense data is actually empty. So it is condition is true, this condition is true, it is not null, but it is empty. So when it is empty, we are printing that specific thing. And then the other thing that we want to do before we can come to this children, because for each tab, for the buyer data we have a one child, and for by category we have the second child in this tab view. So in this way, accordingly, it will, if we click on this one, it will show me the first child. When I click on the by category, it will show me the second child in this children. Okay. So after that, what we can say that body, we can also have the floating action button, and then inside the floating action button, actually we want to create a floating action button, and then on press we want to do a function here. Okay, we do delete it. Right now we don't have anything, and right now we don't have anything. So what I need to do, I need to say I change the background color. So let me quickly do this thing. Here I say background color, I say colors, not this one. I say again, we are using from the constants. So we say constant.add color. So we are showing that one. And then inside that one, we also want to add some few things. So we say tooltip. Tooltip is something which say add an expense. So when I bring my cursor on it, expense, and then what will who, and then we also took putting a child here. And in the child, I have an icon, and then icon is icons dot add, not add, add. Okay. So when I do that, we get this value, but I also want to change the color of this icon to the constants. Where is the constants? And then we say constants dot, and then we say this, and then we can get the color if we want to change. So we have this one. So what I want to do here, I want to, when we want to say that when we press on this thing button, right now it is not doing anything. What we will do, we want to create and show a new page in which we have the categories and so on. So before doing that, what we want to do, we want to add these manage categories and the manage tags button. Okay, so what I will do here, I will create two pages here, which is the manage categories page and the manage tags page. So I will open up this one, right click on the pages folder, I create a new one, and I say manage underscore categories underscore page dot dart, and then this page is actually, what you can say that this page is a state. Again, we can say that let me create a stateless widget. Okay, but right now, because again, okay, I don't want to do that stateless, and then we want to give a name. So we say manage categories page, and then once we do that, right now we don't want to extend it from the stateless widget. I just want to say that it automatically create me this thing rather than I do it myself. So I create that constructor, then also have a build function. But we want to we want to extend it from the consumer uh, widget. That is again coming from the what you can say that from the river. So again, here inside this one, we also have this function is which we have a widget reference, and then we have a ref. Okay, that ref is coming up to that is the same thing which is coming here inside this one. So we are overriding this method build method. So here we have a ref that we have used to create a observer for this the value. So this similarly with this manage is actually going to observe what we have the final, we have say category data and or categories data, and then we say ref dot we want to watch, and then we want to watch our category provider. Okay, and then we say dot value, so we are observing that value. And then again, right in the beginning, as you know, that that will be an empty thing. And then we also have the scaffold that we want to show here. Then we want to show the same application bar. What you can say that we have the what okay, let me create that one. So we have the where is the, we have an app bar, we have app bar, and inside the app bar we have a background color. We say constants app bar, and we also want to show the title. That title, not this one. We are inside the application bar. So let me do it like this, and then this is my scaffold. And then here inside our, I can just say that we have a title, and then we have, this will be a text. And then here I say manage categories. And then I also want to put one more thing here, and that is the center title, make it true, and then we can save it. So if I just now come down here on this click event of this manage, I want to show this open that specific. So let me do one more thing. We go to the drawer, and then inside the drawer we can say that here is the one. So I say we say navigator. So we have a navigator dot off, and then we say context dot uh, push. Not this one here. I want to go out of the push, and then we can say push, and we can say route. So not the push, I say named Okay, so let me quickly say we have a dot push, okay, a dot push, and then here we say material page route, and then we can say builder, and then we are building. So based on the we is say we can say that context, and then we are saying that we want to create the manage category page. So as soon as we do that, we put a semicolon at the end, then it is all working. So when I come here, when I click on that, it will show me that. But again, we have in the manage categories page, so we need to make sure that this text is also has the style property, and then we say uh, text style, we can say color, and that constants from the application bar. So we can also have what you can say that because we are opening this one, it is also showing me this. Okay, so we have this one. So leading, we can put a gesture detector, and then we can arrow back. So this arrow back is already coming. Okay. So if I look at that, so as soon as I go here, when I click on that, we are coming back to the previous thing. So we are putting that one. So this arrow is already there, but we can make, that we can change that style based on our requirements. So we can say leading, and then we can say that we have what you can say that it is an icon, and then we can say icons dot back arrow, back underscore we arrow back. It is an arrow underscore back. So when I do that, but I also won't specify the color, again is a constant, and then specify this color. When I do that, and when I click on that, it is not doing anything right now because we have overridden that thing. So what I need to do, I need to make sure that I am putting into a gesture detector, and then we can say that child is equal to icon. Okay, and then we also have the on tab. So on tab, when we are tap on this thing, what I want to do, I want to say navigator dot pop, and then we can simply navigator dot off dot pop. So when I do that, so I click on that, and we always go back. So click on that, we go back. So right now we are on this thing. So now what I need to do here, I want to create that we want to check again in the body part. So we are done with that application. So here we are in the scaffold. Yes, we have application bar. We come out of the application bar, and then we put a body here. And then here we want to check. And what if we want to check? We say categories data dot uh, is empty. Okay. And then we can answer that because right now it say that is empty is an unconditional on the thing. So if we want to check this thing, just like we have done here inside, so we first check that is not is null, if it is equal to null, or it is not is empty. So the same thing we can do here as well. So we can say that categories data is double equal to null or this one. So again, we are putting a conditional statement, and then on that conditional statement, what we need to check. So if it is empty, then we have a center again, and then we can say that we have a child, and then that child will show our text message, and then inside the text we are saying that click on the plus button to add a category. Okay, so we are doing that, and then after that, what we can say that yeah, this is okay. We need to come down here. If it is not true, if it is not empty, then we want to show what you can say that we want to have a list builder based on how many categories we have. We want to show all of those categories inside a list view. So we say we have a list view, and then we have list view dot. We need to make sure that we are creating a builder. So we list view dot builder, and then inside we have item builder, and that will be what you can say that item. We list view dot builder, and then here we need to first of all we say item count, and that will be equal to the categories data dot length. Okay, and then after the length we need to say item builder, and item builder will be more like a method which takes the two value, what is the context, and then second one is the index value, and then it create that specific what you can say that let me so what I want to do here, I want to have final, so we say have category, and then category is equal to categories data dot okay, we need to put the index value here, and then it will give me add a specific index value, it give me that category, and then from that category I want to return a card, and then inside the card we have the margins specify, we want to say edge insert all, and then we say 8.0, we specify some margins out of it, and then we say elevation, then we say 8.0 again, then we can say the shadow color. So what we want to say, we can say that we want to show some specific colors here, so again we can come down here rather than define this, and so we say static, and then we say constant, and we have a color, and then that will be we say card shadow color, and that will be equal to what, so we can specify that color to blue gray, colors dot blue gray, and then we can specify that, and then come down here, and then we can say our constants dot blue gray, so that will be color shadow color of that specific what you can say that the card, and then we want to have the child here, and that child will be a list style, and then inside the list style we have the content padding again edge insert all, and then we can say 8.0, and then we are putting another thing that is a title of this one, so we have a text, and then here we are using the category dot name, so whatever that name of that category is, that will become the what you can say that the title of this one, and then we have a title, then we not title color, so here it should be title, not the title, so we are in the content part, title, yes, so we have a title, and then I mean, if you look at that right now, because this categories data is empty, so it show me this one. So let me first finish this one, and then we have the name, and then we have trailing. So we want to show an icon button here, and then inside the icon button, we want to press, we want to do something, and then we have the icon, and we icons dot we can say no, we say icon, and then we say icons dot delete, so actually it will show me a delete icon when I press on it, I want to remove that what you can say that from the category. So if we here we can say that if category is not null, okay, or we can simply say that we say ref not ref ref dot read. So now rather than uh, we have the category provider, and then we say dot notifier, and then here we say dot remove, we say remove category, and then we provide that category as an input to this one. So from where it is coming, let me quickly see what is expected to have a comma here. Oh, we need to have this thing. Yeah, we are building, so we have return method, so it is a statement, so we need to put a semicolon here. And this actually coming from this category notifier, and inside the category we have this remove method. So now we are actually going to use that method from here. Okay. Okay, so we are, why we need to, can I do that? No, we need to provide this dot notifier, and then we are going to execute this remove category method from this provider, and then provide a category, which category we want to remove. So whenever we click on the delete button, it will remove that category for us. And then finally, in this one, so once we have finished this one, we want to create a floating button. So we have done that one. We are inside our scaffold, and then we say floating action button. So for that one, we creating a floating action button, and then on press event we want to execute something, and then after that we also have a tooltip. So tooltip is more like that whenever we say we can say that add category, and then after that we want to have this thing, and then this will be a child, and then we can say that it show me an icon, and then we say icons dot add. Okay, so it will show me that icon here. I can also say that we have a background color, so that it is matching to, so we have a background color. So we say constants, and then this one, and then we can also come down here, and then I say color is equal to constants, and then we want to make it a white color. So now we have this one. So when we click on that, we want to show what you can say that we want to show a dialog box in which we want to add these. So let me copy that code from here. So we are inside of a class, we are creating this function. So category, I do that, and then we also have a text field widget. Remember in the other in the previous examples we have created our text field. So let me quickly create a widget here, and then we say it is our text underscore field underscore widget dot dot, and then let me quickly copy that expense. We already see that text widget before, so I just copy it from here and then put it here. And then of course we need to make sure that we are importing all those things. We have constants, so not this one, so we can just simply say that we want to constants, we want to application bar. So we have that one. So let me quickly check if there's an error message here. Of course, inside the category, we have this one. So now we need to say text field widget. So when we do that, so we have solved our problem. So we actually, if we let me quickly go through that, you know, here is our text field widget. So with the text field widget again, we are just specifying the controller. We are specifying the title, and then we are creating the text field here. We have specify the controller. Then we have application bar, and then we are we are outlining. So we are just creating that, and then once we what we are going to do here. When we are going to execute on press, so actually it will show that category input dialog, and inside the category input dialog, first thing is that we are creating a controller here, and then we say show dialog, we have a context, and then build context. So we are alert dialog, we say add new category, and then we are saying show the that text field there. That will be a title of this one. Then the content is a text field, and then we say title is equal to, we created that one, and then we have an action. So whenever we click on the add button, so we have a cancel, it means it will just remove that dialog from us, and when we are defining the add button. So when we are click on that, so we want choosing that reference that we have. So we want to we want to execute the add category, and then we are giving a category object inside it. So we are getting the ID value and the name, they are exactly the same, that is which has been entered over there. And then now we want to execute this method, and this method inside our click event of this one. So where is my action button here? Here we have a floating button. So I say show category dialog. We say ref, not this one. So I just come at the end, and then we get. Now if I just click on that, now I can see that I can put the value. For example, we want to have a travel expense or travel. So when I click on the add, so now you can see that I have this thing. If I delete it, it will be removed. So again, I can come down here. I say travel. I can add it. I can also add more. For example, the clothes category. Then we also have the grocery category. So we add that one. So now you can see that we can add different type of the categories. We can click on that, we can add our categories. And then when we go back here, again, when we come back here, we can see our categories which are existing over there. The same thing we need to do with our what you can say that the tag one. Okay, when we click on the tag, we want to open a new tag manage tags tags page, and then inside. So what we'll do, I will just create quickly that page here. So I say manage underscore tags underscore page dot dart, and this is also a stateless widget. And then we say manage tags page, and then we can just say that rather than we are getting it from the stateless, we are saying that it should be from the consumer widget. So once it's the consumer widget, we also need to give the widget uh, reference as a ref. So now we are all done. The same thing we need to do here that we have done with the category. So let me quickly copy that thing from here till the end into that text field widget. We have already done that. So let me come down here, and then we can say that we want to copy it here, don't want to have two. So we need to make sure that we are, so rather than we are having the categories data, we have a tags data, and then we are not reading from the category provider, we are reading it from the tags provider. Okay, so the value, so why it is not return, we don't have this one, so it should be a final. So we scaffold, it is a constant, so we need to make sure that we are importing that file for here. I say that constant application bar, so it is all done. uh, this is the manage category, so we say manage tags. And the other thing that we need to gesture detector pop up back arrow, that is fine. The same thing, rather than we say tags data, and then we also have tags data dot is empty, and then here we also say tags data, and then here we also say tags data. And then the other thing, rather than we say final category, we say category final tag, and then inside I say again tag dot name. And then here, rather than I say tags provider dot notifier, and then here I say remove tag, and then we give the tag value. So this is all good. Rather than I said input dialog, category input dialog. So let me remove this thing from here, and then we can get the what you can say that add we can get the method for the, where is the method? So we need to manage tags, and inside the manage tags, okay, so we have this manage tags show dialog. So we let me put that one here. This manage, so we say tag, Okay, so we also have to import that text field widget. So we need to execute this method on the egg here. So when we do that, what I need to do, I also need to go to my drawer and then I need to execute. I need to copy this code from here. And then here I just say that rather than manage, I say um, manage tag page. So when I click on this one, so now I can see that I have this my manage tags, and then we need to add change that thing here rather than show me the where is the menu. Okay, no, where is the we say here. This is our tag. Where is the tag? So let me quickly see. Here is we have the manage tags. So let me quickly, why this, okay, so we want to go into the manage tags page, and inside the manage tags page, we want to change this add the tag. Okay, so when I do that, we can see that click plus button to add a tag. When I click on that, add a new tag. So here I say tag, for example, uh, school, travel, and then click add. Then I can say, also say that, for example, child, children, clothes, add it. We also add, you know, office, travel. So we are adding different type of tags. So we have this one. So now once we have done with our manage categories and the manage tags, now we need to click add work on this one. So when we want to create a new expense, then we want to show these informations. So first of all, let me see how what we have in the expense. We have the ID value that is auto generated, or we can see how we can generate it. And then we also have this amount value. Then we have a category ID. Then we have to whom we are paying. Then we want to add the notes, and then we have date, and then we have tag ID. So these tag IDs or the category ID should be coming from these, these travel clothes and so on, or the tags that we have here. But for the other, we need to create a. So let me quickly create a tag. So we have an add expense page, and that add expense page is actually what you can say that again, we need to create a new page here inside our pages folder, and then we say add underscore expense underscore page dot, and this is a state, what you can say that it is a stateful widget. Okay, so actually what you can say that stateful widget. So when we do that, so we can say that add expense page, and rather than it is what you can say that the child of the uh, stateful widget, we want to make the child of the consumer stateful widget. So once we do that, rather than I say create state, so we need to provide the consumer state. Okay, so we have a consumer state. So rather than we have a state, we have a consumer state, and we have add expense widget, and then we have this one. So that is, I think, the add expense state. Okay, that's all good. The other thing is we also need to make sure that this one is also a consumer state. So we can say that where is the consumer state. So now all the errors gone. And now because we have the controllers, so we have the controllers for the amount, for the category controller, for the pay controller, for the node controller. So we want to have those controllers here. So first of all, let me create these uh, text editing controller, and we say amount controller is equal to text editing controller. So we do that. And then we have the what you can say that let me quickly what you can say that we want to have the category, we have the tag as well. So we have a category controller, we have a page controller, then we also have the node controller. So let me see how what we are using inside that widget here. So we have drop down list entries, then we also have the okay, if the selected date, save expenses. Okay, so we let me quickly first do the what you can say that we create that and then we see how much we can say that how first of all let what I need to do here. I need to have the category. So we need to read the categories the categories data actually. So we can say that we have ref and then inside the ref, so we must have that ref dot watch, and then we say category provider and dot value. So first of all, this thing, then I just try to make another copy of this one. The rather than we say tags provider, and then here I say uh, tags data. Okay, so we have this categories data because we want to show inside our the page that which categories and the which tags are available. So after that we need to create a list of the drop down menu. So we say uh, drop down menu entry, and then this is actually we can say that this is of a type category. Uh, yes, and then we can say that this is the category entries, and that is equal to empty in the beginning. Okay, and then we can do the same thing. Rather than here we say tag, and then here we can say tag entries. So inside, once we have this one, so we can check if this uh, categories data is not equal to null, and the categories data is not empty. When if this is the case, then it will show me the categories entries is equal to categories data, not category data. And then we can say that we want to convert those into the dot map, and then that map is actually is a map of what map of these this drop down menu entry, and here drop down menu entry of the category type. So I will put that one here, and then we are going to say that if we have a inside the this one, I will write a function here. So I say that category category, and then we are going to convert that into, so we say uh, drop down menu entry, and then we can say that it will be converted into this thing. So we have a category, and then here we can say that value is equal to uh, category, and then label is actually is equal to category dot name. So it will convert that. Let me put a semicolon here. So we are map. Okay, so we need to make sure that we are putting this one here as well. Category menu entry, and then we are putting that into the value and drop down menu entry. Okay, so what is the problem here? Let me see. So the value type of the iterable category cannot be assigned to a variable type of the list of the category. So okay, so we need to make sure that at the end, once we are done with that, then we say we are converting that into a to list form. So we need to make sure that we are done that. So once we have done that, so we are actually, so we can say that uh, we also need to create a variable here. We call it a selected category. And then we are just creating a late method. So we say category and then we say selected category. So once we've done that, so we saying that we will initialize this variable late. Okay, so we are going to initialize this thing from here, and then we are say that if that is happened, we have created our categories list. Then we say selected category is equal to category um, uh, entries categories. Okay, we say categories data, and then we sub value 0. So first is has been selected. Then we can also do the same thing for our, what you can say that for the tag as well. So rather than I say we have a tags data, we also have the tags, not tags data dot is empty, and then rather than I say categories, we say tag entries is equal to uh, tags data dot map, and then here rather than this one I say tag, and then here again I say tag, and then I say tag here. We are again changed to tag here, and then here I say tag, and then here I say tag dot name, and then we have converted that one. So similarly, we are also we can say that we are also having another variable here late, and then we say a tag. We have a selected tag value, and then here we are going to change from the tag entries, sorry, uh, tags data, tags data sub 0, and then here we say selected tag. So we are done with that one thing inside this method. So actually we have a drop down menu where we can select our category or tag. So we are creating the entries for that specific drop down menu. So that is what we are doing right now here. And once we are done with that, then we can say that we want to show an application bar. We say we have a scaffold, and the inside the scaffold we have app bar. And the app bar we have the background color. So it should be constants, that application bar. Then we say the title is a text, and then the text is actually, it will be the what you can say that we are add expenses. Okay, add expense. And once we have the add expense, then we can apply that style on it as well. So we say style, text style, and then we can say that color constants, this one. So we have this values. So let me quickly, we are here. Uh, and then of course we want to say that this title will be a center title that will be true. And then we can say that we have a leading. And then let me quickly take that, gesture detector, which we have created earlier, and then save it. So we have this one. So when we click on this button, it should open up this specific page for me. So let me go to the home page, and then we can, where is our, we say expense, add expense, we have a drawer. And then inside a drawer, we are actually creating this thing. So we are going to do that. Whenever we are click on the add button, so we are going to add expense page. So when we click on that one, so now you can see that we can see uh, this page here. We have add expense. We can always go back. We can click here. And then right now we are just inside this add expense. And then we have just created this application bar. Okay. So in the application bar, and then we need to have the body of that one. So application bar, and after that we can have a body, and then we have a padding, and then we have the padding is equal to what you can say that we have the edge insects insects dot all, and then here we say 12.0, so we are specifying, and then we also have the child, and that child will be a column, and then inside the column we have the children, and then children, before that one we say we want to have the cross axis assignment alignment to the cross axis alignment to end. Okay, and then inside we are going to have the text uh, field widget. We want to add that one, so we need to give the controller, so that will be an amount controller, and then we also have a title, so title is something like amount, so we can specify that. So we need to have the controller for the payee, and then we also have the node as well, so we need to create these controllers here. So we can do that. So we can, where are we have this one. So we are going to create these controllers here, amount controller. So then we have a pay controller. Then we also have the node controller. So we are specifying, I mean, right now you can see that I am actually doing that, these things. So rather than I come down here, I also add, so I say this is our pay controller, and then this one is our node controller, and then I mean, these fields are sticking to each other, so I will just try to add the sized boxes, and then we can say height is equal to 24. So when I do that, let me put a semicolon at the end as well. So let me take this thing from here and then put it here as well. So now we can see we can leave some space between them. Number one thing, and the other thing we say it is a pie, and then here we can say that it is a node. So once we have done that, so we are going to add another gesture detector here. Let me put one more this one, and then I will just add a gesture detector here, and then inside that gesture detector what we are going to do here, we are selected date, so we need to create a selected date variable here, just like we have created the variables here for this one. So we say we are going to create that selected date and time variable. uh, okay, so we have a date time variable, we have a selected date, and then we can say that this is our date time, not this one, date time dot now. So we are getting the current date. And if we come back here underscore, we say, okay, so we want to show this thing here, selected date, maximum children text is equal to selected date dot two strings, but the point is that we need to have that underscore selected, what you can say that method. So when we are changing the, we are just copy this thing, and then here, right in front after this one, I am putting this method here. So what I am doing here, if you look at our, what you can say that, we are getting the date from here. So what we are doing here, so whenever, so final pick picked date is equal to await show date picker. So whenever we click on it, on this one, it show me that date picker, and then we can select some date here. So when I select a date, I click on OK. So it will change that date to the what you can say that to the 2026 the date is not visible here. If I just say that I don't want to do that, I just do that. Okay, if I just want to hide, switch to horizontal. Yeah, so it is going there. So now you can see that we have a 30th January 2026 has been selected, which we have selected here. If I just do that 20th, and click OK. So you can see it is the 20th. So I mean, we can improve the what you can say that the date. So rather than I convert that date into the two strings, so I can also say what you can say that select dot day, and then we can put what you can say that a column here, and then I can put the date, and then I say month, then I can say this again, and then I say year. When I do that, so now you can see the date is 20 January and so on. So we can change that behavior to this one as well. Okay, so we have implemented so far these things. So which is show me the date. We can select a date which is actually going to be selected, and then whenever we are tapping on this specific icon, then I mean, we click on this thing, they will automatically. When I cancel, it does not change anything. Okay, so this is what has been done. Then we can say that what we need to do here, we also need to put those, um, uh, we need to put the categories. So we have selected date. So again, I am putting another, what you can say that after that we put another, what you can say that space between, and then we can say uh, we have the category entries dot is empty. So we say categories entries dot is empty. If it is empty, then we want to do something different. So again, if it is not empty, so let me check it. If it is not empty, okay, then we are showing up something like this, that if it is not empty, we want to show the drop down menu, drop down menu, and inside the menu we have the entry. So of course here we have the category entries, and then we want to show that category entries, and then we also want to make a few other things here as well. So we say expanded insets, and then we can say that edge insets dot zero dot zero, and then we can also say the label is equal to text. Okay, and then here we say select category, and then after that we can say on selected we want to execute. We have a category that has been selected, so category, and then we say category, and then we have this function. The other thing is here it say that it should have been this one. So we are all done. So when it is selected, so we say if we have the category is not equal to null, then we want to say selected category is equal to category. Okay, so we have this thing, and then we have the drop down menus, and then we can also give the what's the problem here. Let me see. We are having the okay. We also need to have this the else part here as well. So we will do it, and then we can also have this what we can say that here, and then here we say text style, and that will be our text style, and then we can say color is equal to constants cons constants color, and not application, it should be application app color, and then we can say that we have the font size, that will be 14.0, and then we can save it, and then we can also say one more thing, that is the input declaration. So let me quickly copy this thing, input declaration, from here. So when I have it here, so we are specifying that it will be a color, and then after that one, once we have done our this one, the drop down menu which is covering here, we can say that if it is not this case, then I want to say that we don't have any category to show, so we can put it here. So once I done that, so you can set because we have the category, so with here we are selecting that one. We can also select something layer like we on selected, so we have the what you can say that initial selection. Initial selection is the, we can say, selected category. And then whenever we are changing the selected category, so the first one is automatically selected. Whenever we are changing it, change that one to this one. The same thing that we need to do with our what you can say that okay, so let me put another, the space between, and then in after that we can say we have an elevated button, and then we are going to show here that we want to show an elevated button. So here again we don't have that one. Let me quickly copy these functions here. So I want to actually we want to have if the what I'm saying that here that if we don't have the what you can say that let me quickly open up. Okay, so we are going to copy these. So we have these buttons: show dialog, tag input dialog, or the same thing that we have done for the category. And so we are showing this button as well. If that there is no category here, then we can still have the way to add those category here. So we are just trying to make things easier for this specific. Okay, and then what we need to do, we also need to have the same kind of the things for the what you can say that for the what you can say that add a new tag. Okay, so no categories, so we have this thing. First of all, add a new category. So we are actually executing the function that show category input. So I want to add that another, the drop down menu for the categories. Okay. So I just try to have that one here as well. And then I also have this. So after this one, once we have this elevated, again, we are putting this one. And then here, what we need to do, we say, uh, we have let me see if I okay let me copy this thing from here. So we are just taking this one, we have no categories entries, and then we have this button as well. So I just copied it here, and then we can change it according to the requirement. So we say rather than this one, I say tags entries dot is empty, then drop down menu we have selected select the tag, and then we say selected tag, and then what you can say that we instead we have a tag, and then this will also be a tag. If the tag is not equal to null, then we say selected tag is equal to tag. Okay. So once it is done, then we have this one. This is the tag entries. Then we do that. And then the other thing, I don't think so that we need. So we have a selected tag here. We show me the tag values. And then if I click on that, it will open up that add a new category. It is not should be new category. It should be a underscore show the tag input dialog rather than this one. So here I need to change this instead of add a tag, add new tag. So all done. Then I am going to add one more thing here, and that is the elevated button here. So again, I just put some space between these things, and then after that I just add that elevated button, and then inside the elevated button I want to have this thing. So once I did that, not this one, container, we are putting the container, and then we are fill button, so we are putting that container here at the end. So here, So if I do that, it is giving me, and I need to save expense method. So I need to have this method here. I let me quickly add that method here and then explain you what this method is doing for us. So here is the method, and then I can go on the top, and then just after that we have a selected. We are going to do that. Okay, so first of all, I need to expense class. Okay, expense tag ID is required. Okay, so we say tag ID, yes, and then we also have the category ID, all done. And then rather than expense provider, we need to say yes, it should be. We have expense provider. We need to import that in here, and then we can say we have a pop context field the category, and so now you can see that we have this add expense. So as soon as we fill the information here, for example, we fill the amount, for example, 150. The pay is gas station. Then it is our, what you can say that travel expense, and then I can select that it is a travel one, this is an office travel, and then when I click on the add expense. So add expense. So what we are doing here, so it will come down here, it execute this method. So we are creating based on the ID is based on the current, the current timing. And then we say amount is equal to try parse it into convert that into a number. The ID is equal to selected category dot ID, pay is equal to, node controller, and then pay controller, we get all those values. Let me go that. And once we have try ref dot add, so we are having instance of the expense. Okay, so I think there is some problem here, I suppose. The phase, okay, let me first explain you this thing. So what we are doing here, inside the expense we have these controllers. So first of all, we generate the expense object. The ID is equal to the current time that we have here right now, and then the amount is coming from this input field, and then it will try to convert that in text into the double value. So, and then we have the categories, whatever the category has been selected here according to whatever the ID is, we will select that one, and then pay, whatever that value is here, it will come here. Node again, that is coming from here, and then date, whatever selected date is, we are getting that one from here, and then we have the tag ID. So once we have created this specific expense object, now we are say that from the expense provider dot add expense, and then we say navigation.off.com. Why it is, don't use the build across the async gaps. So maybe we can say that okay, that is fine. So it is failed. I don't think so. We get this method that it is failed or something, because if it is, there is some error, then it may, okay, let me go back here. No, it does not. Okay, let me rerun the application and see what happened here. Okay, wait for that one. So we have this one. So right now, again, wait for, okay, close the application. So let me run the application again. It is running. So we are here in the drawer. We don't want to add expense. And then in the add expense, we are at this method, we are say that whenever we are pressing on this one, it is going into the add expense, and then we are passing the context to that one, and then here we say await. Once it has been await, then it will say that daughter. So it is more like, it is the problem. It is what you can say that a warning message. It is not an error, so that's why it is not read. So we can simply right now ignore that kind of a stuff, and then see what is the happening here. Okay, so waiting for that expense that application to run. This is actually coming from our home page where we are printing this thing. So right now this expense is empty. We have no expense at all. Okay, so let me leave it there so that when we are adding it, you can see that instance of expense is coming in. You know, remember that instance of expense comes in. So it means that there is some data is existed, the data that has been added successfully over there. But the point is why it is not pop up and then it will go back. Okay. Our application, let me stop it and then run that application again, I suppose. When I have the main, okay, and then I run that application. Okay, installing the application and look here, it is telling me Flutter, null services, all that. Initializing. So here, the first time when it is come to the home page, it's null. But later on, when it actually has read the data from the local storage, then it show me the instance of expenses are coming over there. But the point is that why it is not showing me anything. The reason is that because if you look at the here, the tab view children, so we are not showing anything here because now data is expense data is not empty. When it is not empty, it still show me that thing. The reason is that we didn't put anything there. So that is the one reason. So what we need to do here, we need to create the widgets that we have expense list based on the data. So we are going to create a new widget here, and then we can say that it is a expense list underscore list underscore date dot dot. And let me quickly, we are actually, it is a stateless widget, and then we say it is an expense list date, and then we are doing it. So now what we need to do, we need to provide that expenses here. So first of all, what I'm saying, that we have a final, we have a list, and then we have the expense, and then this list is actually we have the uh, expenses, and then we also we have the what you can say that final, we have a function that we say on delete. When we are deleting that expense, then what will happen? So what I need to do, I need to come down here, we say require this dot expenses, and then we say require and say this dot on delete. So we, whenever we are creating that, or that what you can say that what is saying that we need to have the final here. So whenever we are creating this expense list data, we need to provide these expenses that we want to show, and then we also need to have a delete function as well. So what I'm going to do here, I just create a list of the from a builder, and then we are going to execute this thing. So I will just try to copy that code from here and then put it here. And then of course we need to have the constants and then application bar and all done. So let me quickly show you. First of all, we need to provide the expenses and the on delete function when we are creating this data list. And then so what we want to do here, so what we have to say based on the expenses, how many expenses we have, according to the length, we are creating the builder. So we are returning a card which has the color is equal to blue gray shadow color, and then we can say that list style. Then we are inside the list, we are giving the amount value, pay value, and then we also have this text style, and then the subtitle is equal to the tag the entry dot date and the category. And then when we tap on it, then we are executing the delete button, and then we are actually on delete an entry, whatever that entry is, we are going to delete that thing from the. So if I just go back to the home, and then I can just simply here, I can say that we have the expense list date, and then we need to provide the expenses, and these expenses are actually this expense data. So we can say it is the expense data, and then we also need to have a delete method. So delete method is something that we need to do here. So let me quickly see that what we are going to do here, we are going to provide an expense here. As you know, we are going to provide an expense here, and then we are going to execute AXPL expense, and then expense, and then we can say that. So here we say we are going to delete the data, so that will be ref dot read, and then we can say that expense provider dot notifier, and then we say dot remove expense, and then we can give the expense value as it, so inside it. So what here I need to put semicolon, so now you can see that. So let me refresh my application and then see it is showing me that. So it is showing me the so now you can see that we get this first entry that we have added over there. For the other one, for the second time when we are talking about the, for example, let me quickly add one more entry here. So when I click on that, so what is happening here? So wait for that. So I am going to add a new. Okay, wait. What is happening? So when I exception caught by the library, so the application may be doing too much work in its main thread. Okay, what is happening here? No, I just don't want to get this thing now. I just refresh my application. So we are having this thing. Okay, and then when I click on that, it should open up the application is not responding. Wait for that. What is happening here? Okay, so let me quickly switch to the, what you can say that switch to the Chrome, because in the Chrome we can see all those things and then see. But the point is that our existing data will not be there. So, but anyway, so let's see. So I just stick to that one, and then because in the Android virtual device we are having some problems, and so we are going to do this thing, close it down, and then we are waiting for the Chrome to come in. Okay, so the Chrome is coming on my other screen. Let me quickly bring it up here, and then we can try to make it as much as possible. So we can say this, and then on the right side, I want to show that Chrome. Where is that Chrome? Chrome. Okay, so we have this. I don't want to do that. I want to do this, and then we have this. So we can do something like this. It is coming up here, and now we can see our expense tracking as well as this one. So if I right now again, if I go there, there is nothing here. So let me quickly add uh, travel. Then I say that I want to add the groceries, add it. So let me go back. Then we can add, click on the add button here. So 150. We also have the pay is a gas station. Then we have the travel. Then we can select the date on the, for example, 22nd. Okay, so we get this one. Again, look at that. Here we have the category, but here we don't. So when we don't have the tag, so we can always say that this is our office travel. When we add it, so as soon as we add something, it will show me this thing. So we have selected that one, then we click on the add expense. So now you can see that it is showing me something, some problem here, but still it is getting back me to the original, to the back to the home page. And then we can see this thing over here. So if I click on that one, it will delete them. But right now we don't want to delete. Let me quickly add one more thing here. For example, I spent 500 on the banana republic clothes, and then this is our not grocery, so let me add a new category quickly here. Clothes, add it, and then select that category here, and then here we say uh, uh, office clothes. I add it and select that category here. So once I select it, I go there. So now you can see that I also have added this thing. So now when we click on that, it does not change anything. The reason is that we need to create, so let me quickly create another stateless widget here. And then we need to say, we say expense underscore list underscore category dot. Okay, so it is a underscore list category dot. So in this is also a stateless widget, and then inside we say uh, expense list category, and we need to have, so we can, what we need to have here, again we need to have the expense here. Okay, so we can also have the delete function as well, and so we can say that we have a final, we have a list of expense, and then we can say expenses. And then once we've done that, we can simply say that require this dot expenses. So whenever we want expense, we done that. So now let me quickly build that, that we are going to get that entries here. So let me quickly create that build function here. Okay, so we have this build function. Again, we need to have the constants Abbas. Okay, so again, here we say group by categories. We need to have that function, that method here. So we need to quickly add that function here. That is here. That actually let me. So what I'm doing here. So we have the expense list of the expenses, and then actually this function we are trying to combine different what you can say, that different type of the expenses under different categories. So we are grouping them in based on the category. So this is function is actually doing that one. So we say result string and the list of the expenses, then we have category map string int, and then we are generating for every entry which exists in the expenses, we are checking that entry dot category. So if the category id is equal to entry dot category id, and if the category ID is contained inside the map, then what it will do, it will combine them together. But if it is not, then it will add that category inside the category map, and after that it will start adding dot entry inside our under this list of the expenses based on that specific string. So that is what it is doing here. And then what we need to do here, date format. So we have the date format function. Do we have the date format function here? So that is again date Okay, so this date format is actually coming from the INTIL, and let me check if I have that. I have this internationalization. So what I need to do, I'm converting that date format, date form. So what I need to do, undefined, view the problem, quick fix, create a date. We need to not method. We want to import. So let me quickly import that package here, rather than I'm just doing that. When I do that, it is solve the problem here. So there is no error inside here. So first of all, this method is actually combining the things into a category of the list. And I mean, based on the category, it is combining different expenses together. And then once we have this group categories, so entries is equal to group categories, and then once we have that one, based on that, we are going to create a builder. So now if I come down here, I want to show that thing. So if I come to my home page, I want to delete it here. I come to home page, and inside the home page where we are writing this, uh, where is my children? So here we have the expenses. So I say we want to have the expense list category, and then here we need to give the expense data. So when I do that, and I now if I click on that one, now refresh my application. And the other thing is we have two different categories, and then you can see that we have a travel category 500. Why this one is the also category? It is okay. So let me delete it from here and then add one more thing here. 100 pay again the gas station. It is also a travel family, and then we can say it is a travel. Then we also say that it is not office travel, it is a family travel. So we added, so we have travel, and then we have say family travel, and then I add that expense, so we get that one travel, and then let me add one more expense based on the like 500, and then we have banana republic, and then we say clothes. It is clothes, and then it is an office clothes, and then we add the expense. So now when we click on this one, so it will show me two travel expenses which are combined together, and then we also have this clothes. Right now it does not do anything here. The reason is that we have not provided the on delete function here. Okay, so that is all. I mean, right now we first created the we first of all we imported the libraries which are required. Then we uh, created these what we can say that these models. Then we created our local storage service here, and then we are creating the content provider or the state providers for the category expense and the tag. And then we created our pages, different type of pages. And then what if we need some custom widgets, then we also created all those things. And then in the main function, we also say that this provider, the state provider, the scope is whole application. And then wherever we have the widget reference, we can always access that specific state, and then we can do that. So that is all about that expense tracking application. So if I just go back here, yeah, we are on the home page. We can see all the lists. We can also see the list by category. We can click on the add button, and then we can add a category. We can also manage the categories. We can also add the categories. And remember one more thing, that if I refresh my page, I rerun that application. When I rerun the application, it will run on a different type of the what you can say that on a different port. This is very, I mean, this is especially important for the when we are running our application inside the Chrome. It is always run every time run in a different what you can say that in a different port. And in that case, the data will be gone, the previous data, because is gone. So if we want to fix that problem, what I need to do, I inside our home page, let me come back here, and then inside our home page, we are here, and then we are want to create a new application, and then the name of that application will be what you can say that the web underscore dev underscore config, and then we can put this thing here. So it is always run on the same port. When it is running on the same port, we also have the data from the previous run as well. So that is a quick fix for that one. And that is the end of our lecture. And hope you have enjoyed. And thank you very much.